Hello again. It's late Saturday night. I'm going to try to knock this one out. I know I told you I was going to do something about my Chevy square bodies. I think I have probably 8 or 9 of the 83 Chevy Silverado castings loose. I have a few of the OBS trucks. They're dualies. And there's some other miscellaneous Chevrolet pickups, but my jammer case full of the Chevrolet pickups is what I want to talk about. I think there's about 20 or 25 overall. So we'll jump in and do the square bodies first because everybody obviously loves these things. This was actually the Legends Tour vehicle. I'm not sure. I think it's probably from 2022. Somebody probably knows on here. But I got this in a big trade when I first started getting into this. I'd done it for a little while, but I actually thought this thing was just a nice real rider's truck. And I started, obviously seeing some posts, and I said, oh man, that's a dandy. I already had it loose. I wouldn't have it any other way. If I had one on a card now, I'd still probably rip it open. But this one is double die cast. Nice heavyweight casting. The pink is cool. It's got a lot of metallic in it. So those of you who haven't seen one, he's out of the package. That's what this little treat in this video is for. Rolls really good. It's basically a premium, right? But there's that one. I'm going to kind of muddle my way through the descriptions I have on these things because some I got loose, which I don't have any information on. I didn't do the research. I'm just being transparent. And a handful of them I have that are in bags that I did pull off of cards. I'll go through descriptions with those. I'm going to pull them out of bags and just kind of go over them. Again, this is another one. I'm sure everybody's seen this one. I'm not sure what run this was. I feel like it was 22 or 3. But if you know, drop it in the comments. This one's, just the mainline version. Not double die cast, but these are still really nice castings. They got some decent weight to them. Initially, I wasn't crazy about these things, even though they were what they were, because they are just a little, in my opinion, slightly out of scale compared to some other stuff. And I think a casting this nice and so iconic should have casted mirrors. That's just me. But still, these things are super desirable. Everybody wants to trade for these things. Everybody wants to buy them. Everybody wants to scalp them. But this is another nice example of why everybody likes this casting. Again, these are all 83 Chevrolet Silverados. So there's that one. I'm going to set these things on the bags just in case the ones I have, that have some writing on them, I don't get them mixed up. This one, I actually have never seen it on a card myself. I've only seen it in the 20 and the 8-packs. But I'm sure all of you have seen this one. These are kind of tough to get a hold of, a year ago. But now you're starting to see them a little more common. I think this is actually a 5-pack truck. And honestly, I can't remember if this is where this one came from or I got this one in a trade or what have you. I've had a few more that I've traded off just because some people it's kind of hard to get a hold of them in their area all over the country. And I don't need but one, right? So this one's got like race buckets, and I'm not sure if the rest of them are like that. Yeah, I guess they all are. But another nice variant. Like the gunmetal gray. Yeah, this is I got this one loose from a guy who is a work counterpart more or less. He does a lot of customs. This guy here, I know I've seen this one on a card. And I got this one as well from the same guy I got this one from. It was a gift. I want to say this is a 20. Don't give me the lying, but it came on a card. And if I remember, I think it's like the Hot Wheels off-road, which is, there ain't nothing off the pavement about this guy. But orange in the camo is kind of cool. It's something different. Wish these bags sit a little flatter, but that's all right. Here's another one. I actually at one point had 4 or 5 of these things somehow. A bunch of them came in trades, or I was just able to find, I think, 1 or 2 at a garage sale or something. This was also a gift from this same guy as these 2 trucks. This one I can really like and appreciate and relate to, because this style of Chevrolet pickup, like that Desert Fox M2 I opened up, you know, this is, I wouldn't say this is what I wanted, but I do like, you know, this kind of style of graphics package and what have you. Paint's really nice on this truck. There's a little bit of swirl mark look on there, but overall it's pretty good without being under the camera. All right, and this is another one that I got from the same. No, I take that back. This is another one I got from the same guy as these 3 trucks. This is actually probably one of the only thing I hate is this, and I've seen a few more. Not that I have, but it's actually split, you know, on the plastic part of the casting. But, you know, you just kind of hide it by turning the truck a different direction. If you really want to get all technical and critical, you could putty that and use a chrome marker to kind of make it a little less obvious, but it's fine. I wasn't too worried about it. Fram filters. Yeah, looks real good, just like that. All right, and the last one I got is the baby blue one from, I think it's the 2025. These are pretty tough to get a hold of, but now you're starting to see them in the 8-packs and the 20-packs. My rule for the 8-packs is if I don't absolutely love 4 castings that are in there, I don't get it, because the rest of the cars I don't like are just going to be giveaways. But I did pick one up. I had this. This is a truck I pulled from my card. And I was going to buy another 8-pack the other day, but I picked a different one that didn't have this truck in there because it had some other castings I wanted. But I actually have this card, this truck on card. And one I don't have loose in here is the purple one. But I'm going to dig it out of the clamshell, you know, portions that I have stashed away, you know, all in totes. And I'm going to bust it out of his drawers just to put it in this jammer case with these trucks. Get this little parking arrangement set up because we've got quite a few more to go through. Okay, this was actually a truck that I got from a friend of mine that I work with. He acquired a pretty large collection from 98 to 2000, and it's a Matchbox. Fresh Eggs is what they call this casting. And it's a, you know, GMT 800, probably a 99 Silverado. So the first year of that newer body. Not the greatest, if I'm being honest, but it's a Chevy pickup, and I had 2 of these trucks, and the second one I had was basically the same truck with a fleet side C71. I bought it 2 years old when I was 20, and I put a ton of miles on that truck, and it put a lot of food on my table. So any of these that I see, I have a lot of fondness to that part of my life. I bought it with 52,000 miles on it, and when I traded it in, instead of selling it outright, the clicker said 367. Great truck. I had a lot of things done to it there in the end that basically made it next to perfect, and I had done all that work, and it was great. I mean, it was tip top. I had put 2500 HT springs in the back, rebuilt the front end for the whole second time. You know, oil pump, water pump, power steering pump. Did a Aeromotive fuel pump for it. I got tired of messing with the GM Delphi. You know, fuel pumps going out. Late model console that I did. I had my seat rebuilt. I finally got the windows tinted like I wanted it. You know, the truck was right. I mean, there wasn't anything else that had a trans put in it. You know, like at 110, it was built and it lasted really well. The truck was, it was perfect, right? And about 2 months later, backed out of where I was living, and I heard clunk, 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 and it was a front differential starting to go. And I said, you know what? I've outgrown this truck. I need a crew cab. And I was just so pissed off at all the time and money I'd put into it. And sadly, I didn't really have the means or the space at the time to keep it. And the trade that I actually got for the amount of miles that were on that truck was pretty honest and fair. So I let it go that route. But again, I regret not having it, but I also have my late father's truck. It's an '01 HD, and it's about to get the full treatment eventually too. So it's in my driveway, just sitting there staring at me every day, reminding me of why these trucks are what they are. So anyway, not the greatest one, but kind of a cool little mixture on the livery of that one. The card was really banged up on that one, so I just pulled it out of there. This truck I got in a trade from the same as that Legends Tour truck, and it was the only one that I had. It's the dually of the GMT 400, Chevy pickups. I think these are, they don't say what year they are, but if I had to guess, they were probably 96 or 7. Well, let's look at the dash. Okay, so we know it's definitely a 94 and down, because I'm sorry about that. It's got the square dash. But these are kind of cool. They look different. I come from the era of, custom dualies, lowered, slammed. Trucking Magazine was a good friend of mine, And seeing, trucks like this with all the crazy paint and, these saw blade wheels and, all the blended features on some of these things. That was an era of my life that I remember as a kid. This is Thorne Brothers Industrial Maintenance. So that's the livery on this one. Pretty cool. Nice bright yellow. Solid bed cover. Again, I'm not sure what year this one ran. If I had to guess, it was probably, I don't know, maybe early 2000s. It's hard to say. It can't be that old and it can't be that new. But, last one on this side of the jammer is another dually like that, the custom 3500. This is kind of got a cool livery. Jerry's Electric. Oh, don't you love that? How am I driving? The textbook bumper sticker with the company phone number normally below it. So if you get cut off and he gives you the bird, you can call in and snitch on him. But very cool. It's like a nice bright metallic kind of fuchsia pink. And this one, no, so this one I actually got from the guy I work with who gave me this truck. It's a blister pull. All right, we're going to turn this thing over. That's all I have from, say 88, if you will, and up. I'm sorry, square body, and up. So everything that I'm turning over on the other side of this jammer case is going to be pre-73. So we'll go in order, right? This is an 8-pack truck. I'm sure you've all seen it. Step side, I think these are 69s. I have the other color variant of this one. I like they got that full billet grill. That was a nice custom touch because they had like the hidden headlights, the way they used to do these things, on the customs. But I kind of wish they would have gave it another variant to where it showed like the 67 through 69 headlight or 70 to 72. Hot Wheels Speed Shop. It's got some pretty cool livery on the side of it. I can fix that. I'm surprised it doesn't say like El Segundo, California, because that's where Hot Wheels is based out of. But still pretty neat. Obviously, these things also go really crazy on the diecast market, and all the groups because they're great candidates for customs, right? So if you find these and if you're that kind of guy who does the custom thing, you buy a bunch of 8-packs, or you just find some of these in trades and you keep them to customize. This one was a blister pull from what I remember. I don't think it was an 8-pack buy, because I don't really buy too many of those just to basically get the premium castings, but I just do it every now and again. Again, if it's 4 out of 8 models, or there's 10 or 12 in a 20-pack that I really want, I'll buy it. But this is the short bed fleet side version. These are also 67s. And I think all of them have these, full tub setups in them. Cow hood. See, this one has the outline of the actual factory style grill. But terrible, man. Put something on the front of that. Because if this was a 67, it would have normally had a color match grill. Same as the body color. But anyway, it's still just good to show you all these, because some people see plenty of them and, so, oh my God, I've never seen that truck, because they're in a different part of the country, or, oh, I find that truck on, on this, but I can't find it on the shelves. So it's good to kind of just share your collection and let everybody know what's out there. And I'm definitely missing some. I don't have a very big Chevy pickup collection, but this is another one that was pulled off of a card. Same casting as the steel one. A little bit better looking because it's got the chrome, but again, not quite accurate. The wheels actually kind of fit this truck because it has that cream in the livery, but not really the greatest choice of wheel. But again, these things make great customs if you're into that. I don't know what what this signifies on the top, but I do like the matte, flat red. That's something different. This is this one's found at Family Dollar. This is part of the art car line. 83 out of 250 for that year, which is, I believe, 24. But again, don't hold my feet to the fire on that. We got probably about 4 more of these. So this is another gift from the work counterpart. And apparently, this one doesn't say, but I noticed this Hoosier tire on the back of this truck. This thing looks sharp, man, with that metallic purple, and I really like this graphics package, decaling on there. Chrome wheels, chrome grill, got the chrome tubs. That's not even remotely close. Chrome seat, but it's flashy. Looks better than the rest of them, in my opinion. This is probably one of the best looking ones out of all these, besides maybe this purple one. Again, I don't know what year this one ran, and I'm sure y'all seen it. I want to say it's been in a couple of those 8-packs from last year or the year before. But I like these trucks in this color because an older brother of a schoolmate of mine, he actually had, I think his was a 68 or 9. It really brings back a lot of deja vu looking at this truck casting in this color, because his was all worn down and had rub wear and patina, if you will, all over it. And he had some just plain Jane little American racing mags on it, but the truck was built really well, and it ran good. A lot of fun. This one's anything like I said on previous videos that has the tag in these bags. That came from a trade buddy of mine out of Arkansas. Here's the other step side, like that yellow one. This is probably the one that's more common. Again, Hot Wheels Speed Shop, Covina, California. It's basically the same thing as this one, just in a little different color scheme. Thought they were a little bit more different than that. Again, these are all Hot Wheels, besides that white truck over there. It's a Matchbox. to spread the camera out here. There we go. Get a better full view. Okay, last one of the 67 to 72 C10s. This one's in yellow with flames. White walls are kind of, they're all right. But they fit this casting, you know, in this color scheme. All right. And we have, I think these are 62s. I should know. Man, look at that. I'm not saying I'm a Chevy truck expert, but it's good to be right. So a very, very dear friend of mine who's, you know, I call him uncle, but he's like another father to me. He has a 65 that I get to stare at every time I go over there, and it's on jack stands. You know, it's the, I have everything in the garage to do it. We just got to work on it, bro. You know, kind of deal. But I wasn't around very many of these. I knew some people who owned them when I became an adult. I mean, I'm sure I knew some people who had some. But when I saw these trucks, they were normally like dually wreckers and stuff when I was super, super young. You know, 62, 3, 4, 5, you know, and 6 models. But it's still a nice truck. It's got the matte red. I like the flames on it. Side exit exhaust. Undercarriage is so-so. You know, it's better than most, right? But still a good looking truck. Then we have, this is a Real Riders truck. It's the 62 Lucas Oil with a surfboard in the back. I'm sure y'all seen it. This thing just looks nice, man. Rubber tires. Plastic based. I thought this thing was double die cast, but nonetheless. See, it's slightly different. Oh, it's the same casting, but they put a little extra detailing. You know, it's got tampos on the headlights, and you know, just things to kind of touch it up a little bit because it's a Real Riders variant. A little more detail in the rear. Really nice paint on this truck. Let me put it on its bag. And we have two more. One is definitely not that special, but I haven't seen it. And this one is a Matchbox. It's a this is a 57, like Apache. And I really like the livery on this truck because I love junk, I love scrap, I love things that are old, and this thing just really, it tricks my trigger. You know, it's not the greatest mainline, but with the red oxide primer, you know, I I have a lot to say about a primer in that color versus gray or black. That stems back to my father and a good friend of mine who I talked him into painting his Chevelle this color, and I can't believe to this day that he did it. But it was impulse, and it paid off, and it was different. We really enjoyed that car too. But again, another nice example of a Matchbox. But when they do these trucks or any of their cars, so nice. Even when they don't tampo them, some of these newer models where they have like the full gray undercarriage and the grill. What is that, man? Like, come on. Just, you make such a good looking vehicle and then you just turn it and what happened there, you know? This one I got from the guy in Arkansas. I don't have a tag in the back for some reason, but I know this truck came from him. And I believe this is another one. The last Chevrolet truck, if you will, also came from the gentleman in Arkansas. And I had a blue one just like it. And I think it got traded, not intentionally. I thought I had more than one. And when I traded the blue one away, that was the only one I had. So I like the, you know, the flat gray primer and the flame patina deal. This truck actually looks really good. you off camera, just sitting in a display on a shelf. This is here's this truck, 48, 52. I'm fired. So anyway, like I said, not the greatest, most expansive collection, but I'm making a dent. I'd love to have obviously more of the 83s. I know there's more of this casting, that's out there. But these are all in really good shape. They're all blister pulls more or less, or I don't think any of them have any play wear on them because, maybe the exception of probably 2 where I know for sure straight blister pulls. Like I said, I think there was one of these that was a yard sale find or something like that, but still a very nice collection. I'm able to admire it every now and again. I wish it was, 2 or 3 times the size, but you can't have them all, and it takes time to acquire them. But there you have it. Nothing special. A little longer than I thought it'd be, but that's the current Chevy truck collection that's in a Matchbox Hot Wheels mainline. Like I said, the other manufacturers of square body and Chevy trucks, I'm not sure how many I have, but it's probably to this extent or more. I'll have to eventually gather all those up and do a video on those, just kind of do a run through. But that's it for tonight. It's late, super late, and I'm gonna get this thing uploaded so you guys can enjoy it, and I will let the next one be a surprise. So have a good weekend, enjoy the remainder of it, and we'll see y'all in a day or two.